Okay, this is Maldor's Curated Catastrophe. I'm going to get set up and get things rolling here. We're going to start with a little bit of the chill raga thing. This is from the California Raga Association. I'm playing this because my guests today are from the SF Great Society, who are putting on a psychedelic music festival at Mighty on September 13th.
I can't wait.
It's a full day festival. I'm hoping they give us tickets.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Because I totally want to go, although I have to work that day.
Yeah.
Anyway, this California Raga Association will get things set up, and welcome to Maldor's Curated Catastrophe on Radio Valencia. Oh, there it is. The beloved background music. All right, welcome to Outdoors Curated Catastrophe on Radio Valencia. I am here with Derek from the Gentle Cycle and Dennis, who is you're the promoter, the organizer,
organizer corner.
Well, tell us. I mean, you guys were just here on Friday, but there's not a ton of overlap between Brian and I's shows. So, can you tell us what you're doing? What's your project here?
The project is getting the music community together as one group to do a music festival, grassroots music festival, basically reflecting psychedelic music here in San Francisco.
And it's called The Gathering of the Tribes.
Right. It was sort of a tribute to the human being about 48 years ago, in 1967. We're kind of giving a tribute to them as well because they sort of did the same thing. They kind of got their community together to do a human being, a gathering of the tribes and music and art.
Yeah, so there have been actually several gatherings of the tribes throughout history. Ian Astbury put one together down at the shoreline that was like sort of a proto Lollapalooza.
Yeah, I don't really consider. I'll probably get nailed for this, but I don't consider that part of that whole history of 67.
He was trying. I mean, despite the fact they had like Public Enemy and Ice Cube and stuff, he was trying to do draw music in from all kinds of different spectrums. He kind of overshot it because there was 20 bands or 30 bands. I mean, there's way too many bands for a day. But it did give Perry Farrell the idea for Lollapalooza. So
what is interesting about our festival is that. This is more grassroots.
It's all local bands.
It's been going on for a long time, for at least a couple of years or so. There's a music scene here, and it's growing. And I think this is the year for this type of music, San Francisco music in general. And I think that's more realistic than the one that was in the 90s.
Yeah, at the shoreline. Yeah.
This is actually a homegrown, roots level festival.
Right.
All the bands and promoters too. There are a couple promoters helping us out on this.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about it. It's Sunday the 13th at Mighty. Do you know the address of Mighty?
No,
it's over behind the Safeway.
Public Works. That's 161 Erie Street.
Oh, I thought it was at Mighty.
No, it's between 13 and 14.
I've been telling people the wrong thing this entire time.
Yeah, they're all going over there. They're all in line. They're buying their tickets.
At least I have the date right. It's Sunday, September 13th. So not
12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Yeah. So I will do my show and go trundling right over there on the 13th. All right. So Derek, you're in a band.
Yeah.
What do you play?
I play guitar and sing in the Gentle Cycle.
Okay, well, I have one of your tracks queued up. It's called Memory Day, the four-track version. Is that okay if I play that one?
Sure, yeah.
All right, you're here on Maldor's Curated Catastrophe on Radio Valencia with the organizers of the new version of Gathering of the Tribes, which is at Public Works. Where's that again?
September 13th.
No, where's Public Works?
161 Erie Street, between 13th and 14th on Mission.
Oh, sweet. Okay. And we've been joined by somebody new.
I'm Clay.
Hi, Clay. Speak into the microphone.
Hi, I'm Clay Andrews.
Oh, okay. And you're in...
Spiral Electric.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll have some Spiral Electric. Wait, you've got the Voice of God thing going on, don't you?
Do I?
He is very
yes, I do.
More reverb.
Thanks. The show on Friday night, Dr. Hal always puts on all these effects on the mics, and then never turns them off because they're not very good at radio. Anyway, this is the Gentle Cycle on Radio Valencia.
Here we are.
Creaky. All right, and we are back with the promoters of Gathering of the Tribes, the psychedelic music festival. It's happening at... God, I had this imprinted in my brain. It's at Public Works. And what did we just hear? Let's see. Skimming around. And all right, so we just heard... we just finished with 50-Foot Hose, a track called If Not This Time. They had to pull out of the festival?
Cork contacted me about their participation at the festival. The reason why their guitar player had an unfortunate accident playing hockey.
That'll happen playing
hockey. A couple of months, and he broke his arm, so right now he's...
And that'll interfere with your guitar playing.
Yeah. You can mend a broken arm for a couple of weeks or more.
But
give him 2 months.
So 50-Foot Hose, not playing, but that was their track, If Not This Time. Before that, we heard Heaven by LSD and the Search for God. That was that shoegazy thing. And we kicked things off with Memory Day, the 4-track demo version or something from Gentle Cycle.
Yeah, we didn't have anything recorded with the new lineup of the Gentle Cycle. There have been several releases that I've put out using different musicians and so forth, with songs that we're doing with the new band, but we went to start recording and then my tape machine broke, but we still wanted to get something down, just to use for so people could hear what the new band sounds like. So we busted out my man Maxwell's 4-track cassette machine. And we laid it down on the 4-track.
Well, there's actually a good guitar tone on that for 4-track cassette.
Thanks. Yeah, I was pretty happy with how it came out overall. Oh. It's fun to record on 4-track and cassette. We really enjoyed it. We drank beer and played with tapes, and
that's basically what I do on my Sunday afternoons here at the radio.
I miss 4-track cassette recording, man.
Although actually today,
was so much fun.
Today we're having a delicious crisp rosé because it's 77 degrees in the Mission. Actually, we just drink rosé here all the time. It's just what we do on Sundays. So we were talking off mic. I sort of became aware of this general scene. I mean, I've been playing Lee Gallagher and the Hallelujah on my show for a while. I don't know why his stuff's really. But regular listeners to my show know that I play him all the time. And I went to see him at the Milk Bar, and there was this whole scene of people getting up on stage and jamming, covers with him. It was a record release party for his album, but he did almost every other song was a cover and had members of different bands, and it was just a really fun night in the Upper Haight of, as they call it, psychedelic gospel. And I know that there's a music scene here, but I feel like it's mostly in Oakland, and it was exciting to see something happening in San Francisco. So is that what gave you the idea for this festival?
Absolutely, because I run a social media website called POW Magazine, and I've been covering local music for the past couple of years. Well, since 1986, let's put it this way. I'm aging myself here, but
that's a couple years.
I've gone through the different music scenes, the different decades, and this one's probably the best one I've ever seen before. This one's blooming. I know a lot of people disagree with me but I've been around. I've been around a long time, so I know what I could see before me, and I know what I'm listening to. But Clay, he might have a better take on that.
On what?
On the music scene, if it's more of a...
Because everyone tells you, all the artists are leaving San Francisco. No one can afford to live here. You can only live here if you're a techie.
None of us live in San Francisco.
Yeah. I had to leave
Dirty
San Francisco a while ago.
I know,
but is it a Bay Area scene? Or is it a Modesto scene?
I think it's a Bay Area scene, but I think San Francisco is going through a transition. I know Clay and I had many conversations about that. And it's always going to go... Every decade goes through a transition. There's the highs and lows in each music scene, and right now I think it's growing. I think it's coming back. Yes, past couple years, a lot of bands have left, gone to LA.
Yeah, and broken up too. There were big bands that I was, I thought they were big. I've been to, like a dozen shows of theirs or something, and then it just fizzled out. And that was something that inspired me actually to start Innerlight, because I didn't want to see that happen to another crop of bands.
What's Innerlight?
Innerlight Presents is just like one of the promoters in the area. But I just wanted to do something about it because I didn't want to watch that happen again. And
I also think venues like the Chapel have been great for the scene too, because I've seen some. I saw Carlton Melton there and Toy and a lot of other good they've got a great booking agent for this sort of guitar based psychedelia stuff. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to me to see like the personality of a club reflected in their booking agent. Like I love I love the Hemlock, but I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, let's just go check out a band on any given night at the Hemlock. It's liable to be quite experimental.
Another thing too I got to point out is that every 10 years the economy here in San Francisco goes down and it goes up and goes, and you know what? This is not going to last.
Oh yeah, it's boom and bust city. It's been that way since the gold rush.
It's been like that for 150 years. So come on, people, get with it. It's gonna pass eventually.
And honestly, like when I hear people complain about like the people in San Francisco are changing and nobody is interested in this and blah, it's like, well, to me that's just an excuse to not go out and make it happen. Yeah.
And
it's a different set of challenges, so meet them.
That's been the exciting thing about doing the radio station, because, as I've said, I'm over 40, and I was very much in that, like, the school of, there's nothing good on the radio, there's no good music happening. But then I started doing this radio show every week, and I'm interested in new music, and there's a shitload of stuff out there. You just have to put forth a little bit of effort. You have to not listen to a clear channel radio station, and you'll find good music. It's exciting to me that there's a psychedelic rock, because that's kind of like been my default, where like what I end up listening to mostly is guitar-based indie rock.
And other thing, Derek, chime in if I'm wrong about this, but there's more than just psych rock. There's other kinds of music here that are playing everywhere.
And it's all different kinds of things that fall under that as well. And I mean, like 20 years ago or so, like Brian Jonestown Massacre were really instrumental in keeping that torch, going. And
I remember
they were very important.
The first few shows.
I mean, so it's like just right now, I personally see like a wave of really great bands that have been around for like maybe 3 years or so, and new ones that are starting that really I find exciting myself.
That's the important thing, is when new ones with younger people start happening, and it's not just the same old people. I mean, it's great. I mean,
the usual suspects.
I've been playing as a professional musician for over 20 years now, and I'm just happy to do what I do. But it's so great to see a young band that is doing something really cool and unique, that draws from influences, but it's their own spin on things. And I think there's definitely a lot of that happening right now.
I'd like to point out, I was talking to Lee Gallagher a couple of weeks ago at a music thing that Mad Alchemy was putting together.
Right.
And I told Lee, all the band.
Mad Alchemy do the psychedelic visuals.
Oh yeah.
They do the oil and overhead projectors, and it's really it's fascinating to watch, even if you don't smoke weed. When
it's really better when you do.
If you smell his oils, you will get high.
All right, sorry. So Mad Alchemy put on an event,
and Lee was there, and like, hey Lee, all the 18 bands that are playing at the festival next month. You guys are doing a benefit to the bands that are not playing the festival. You're bringing this scene to life on our own festival. You're representing all the bands that wanted to be on the bill. Because if we can pull this off, it benefits everybody in the music scene or music.
And there were so many
community.
people there too. It was crazy, and that's why they wanted me to DJ, was because I play a lot of stuff that's local and new. Like stuff that's it's not on vinyl.
Well,
so
keep shuffling that towards Radio Valencia, because I'm interested in local new music. And and we're happy to play. So speaking of, I have the Spiral Electric queued up next. This is a track called Upon Your Shore, and you're listening to Radio Valencia. Thank you guys for coming down on your Sunday afternoon, and stay tuned.
and soul. The rest don't love what they can't control. Lay me down and heal my soul. I'm lighting matches on your train ride home.
And ends with a bit of feedback. That was Down and Outlaws with Lay Me Down. Before that, we heard Create and Consume by the Love Dimension and Upon Your Shore by the Spiral Electric. And we are here with a member of the Spiral Electric, as well as the organizers and somebody from another band, Genocycle, that are all playing at a psychedelic music festival that is happening September 13th here in San Francisco. And you said, Dennis, that Down and Outlaws inspired you to put it together?
Well, of course, I thought of the festival before I saw their festival a year ago.
And what was
back
that?
in June. Not Dead Yet Fest.
That was the
last year.
And that was them saying the music scene here is not dead yet.
Well, there's a lot of... It's just, outside sources or people.
There's been a lot of press about this kind of thing about is San Francisco dying?
Right. It's an easy angle to take.
Yeah. So
it's a lot harder angle to take to say no, it's not, and here's a festival to prove it.
Yeah. Exactly. And Clay and I were at that festival, so we obviously it's not dead. And I think the Down Outlaws did a fantastic job putting this long day festival, all night festival together, like Gathering of the Tribes.
They're playing they're playing on the 13th as well.
Yes.
And that was certainly the best festival I'd ever seen in that context. And, I'd been to a few in the years before at that same venue, and they were not like that.
Where was it?
It was at the Parkside. The Parkside.
The Parkside.
One stage.
I'd been to a few before that, and they were pretty good. Spiral Electric played one of them or two of them or something like that, but it was never on that. Never like that together. The complete package, the way that they did it last year. That was wonderful.
No, great. And that inspired you to put on your own festival.
Well, no,
which is, kind of like, you want this thing to snowball.
That's
if
they can do it, we all can do it.
Yeah. right.
Well, that's kind of the attitude too. Is like, we can do this and you can do it too, and here's how.
Sweet. So who else playing? I mean, I know all the bands I've played thus far, but can you give sort of a general rundown of they're all local bands.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, the only outside band is Carlton Melton.
Well, they're from Northern California.
Yeah, they're not that far.
They're
off.
Regional.
Yeah, they're regional, definitely.
I heard they're not recording in their dome anymore.
And as soon as they finish playing our festival, they're going to go off to Europe.
Oh, cool.
So who else is playing? Buzzmutt.
Mm-hmm.
Buzzmutt's a side project of somebody.
I don't think so.
Don't think so. Scott. I don't know if
Scott Franklin. Yeah, I think that's his main band.
Yeah, and then
they've been around the same length of time too. I think it's just been I want to say 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm really happy.
They're more noisy and jagged.
Yeah, we'll be playing some of them in the second hour coming up.
Who else?
The Sea Dramas.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yes. Sea dramas. Yes, I'm happy to hear.
Mystery Flavors,
And the Green Door. Don't forget them.
Death Valley, Zodiac,
Zodiac
Death
Death Valley.
don't know that.
Cellar Doors.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Electric Shepherd, Lee Gallagher and the Hallelujah, good friends of the show. Actually, if I'd gotten it together, I would have. We had Lee Gallagher and the guitar players, whose name escapes me, come down. Jacob, yeah,
Jacob.
came down and played acoustic, and I think they'd been on like one of the stations in San Jose, and so they were expecting to like maybe get 2 songs, and I'm like, no, you're here for 2 hours. Let's play your stuff acoustic. So they did a version of like Ready for the Mountain acoustic, which they'd never done before, and I should have chiseled that out of the podcast and played it because they're great. But I'll play some Lee Gallagher also in the second hour.
And the Shees. Don't forget them.
The Shees, the Love Dimension, who I already played, the Down Dirty Shake. Are playing.
Another inspiring band.
The Down Dirty Shake. The mighty Down Dirty Shake.
Yeah, and of course the Spiral Electric and the Gentle Cycle, 2 of whose members are here with me now. All right, I'm going to play somebody who's not playing the festival. Is it Gian or Gian? How do you spell Joel's last name? How do you say
Gian.
Gian.